Get some Republican reaction now. The House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is kind enough to join us. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Ed. Thanks for having me back.
Good to have you. We've been listening to Governor Cuomo. He's meeting with the President of the United States, as you know, 4 p.m. Eastern today in the Oval Office. What are your thoughts about these two leaders coming together as we see the curve flattening in places like New York?
I think it's right. I've watched this president work with different governors across the country. I happen to come from California, and I know Governor Gavin Newsom speaks very highly of the interactions he's had with this president. When you think of those Navy ships going to New York and to California, when you look at, unfortunately, the number of deaths that we've had, 55% of those from COVID come from New York and New Jersey. And that's where the president had built the hospitals, made sure the testing, when you look at per capita, in New York, Louisiana, and the hot spots, we're testing more than any place else in the world. So, I mean, it's appropriate to continue to work together to find the best solution so we can open this country back up in a safe manner.
And as you reopen it, there are a lot of small businesses, as you know better than I, that are hurting from California to New York and pretty much everywhere in between. Is there a deal to extend the funding for small business loans or not? Yes,
there is a deal that is done. But we didn't have to be here. We waited 2 weeks ago. We said this money was going to run out. Because remember what this is. This is to keep people employed, to keep small businesses able to stay afloat while government told them they had to shut down. And it has gone out. If you look at this, we've saved 30 million jobs through this program. But there's 700,000 applications sitting there. Nancy Pelosi has stopped it. And when you look into these Democrats, you look at Jai Paul. Well, she was afraid, let's not give up now, our leverage will give it too soon. Our AOC celebrating the price of oil dropping to we've never seen in historical levels, where thousands of jobs are going to be laid off. Thursday we'll get the new unemployment numbers. That's going to be Pelosi's unemployment. She did not have to do this. This is a program that worked better than any program we've seen. We've been able to move in 14 days the amount of money that Small Business Administration has been able to move in 14 years. Think of that. 30 million jobs saved, but how many people have got laid off this week simply because Democrats wanted to use leverage to change the direction and the restructuring of government, like their number 3, Clyburn said, was the goal with coronavirus to do.
Mr. Leader, we had a Democratic leader on, Dan Kildee, this morning, who said the reason why it was delayed, this is his explanation, I'll give you a chance to respond, that they want to get it right because a lot of big companies are getting the money, mom and pop shops are not getting the money. They claim that's what they were trying to use their leverage on. And Nancy Pelosi was on CNN last night saying that you and the president have basically failed on widespread testing. Your response?
Well, let's see. If 74% of the $349 billion went to small businesses that have a payroll of less than $60,000, if 60% of all the money went through banks of the smallest size of $10 billion or less, the facts just don't add up. If that was the case, why did Nancy Pelosi hold up the CARES Act to put in the Green New Deal, or fight to have more money for the Kennedy Center, or National Endowment for the Arts? Their action does not speak correctly to what they're trying to say. When we look at testing itself, we're watching that we're improving every single day. We're learning something new about this virus. And remember, Ed, we did not invite this virus here. We did not want it. It came from a distant land that lied to the world. 95% of this would never happen to the latest study had China not lied. This president has been able to do something that we've never seen before in America. And that, to me, they've got to stop playing politics. The answer that Nancy Pelosi gave, sitting with her refrigerator and her ice cream, why thousands of jobs are being laid off, there's no answer for that. There's 22 million reasons why the Democrats should have said yes 2 weeks ago. How many million more are going to get laid off because of Pelosi's delayed? That's going to be the answer that's given on Thursday.
Mr. Leader, the last moment we have, I seem to remember there was a young man who won $5,000 in a lottery and started a deli out in California. That man was Kevin McCarthy. I think that the deli was called Kevin O. So you understand mom and pop shops, perhaps. But I'm hearing from mom and pop shops in your state and others, and they're saying the big guys are getting the money and folks with 5 employees, 10 employees are not getting the money. So putting aside the back and forth with Nancy Pelosi, how do you fix this so more of the Kevin McCarthys and the delis actually get the money?
You're right. I made a lot of those decisions around a kitchen table and took a great deal amount of risk. You know, I had our ambulance company call me And she was almost in tears, saying she was going to have to lay off 70 people, and she wasn't, because she was able to get the money. Or the insurance company that called me and said they were saved, and they called up everybody they laid off and told them they were coming back to work. We have 700,000 applications sitting there. We want to make sure we get it right. Yeah, there are going to be some problems, but you're finding, was on the phone with the president and the secretary Mnuchin yesterday, making sure that that's not going to happen, that we will go after those big companies that cheat the system. But this system is only for companies that have less than 500 employees.
Got it.
74% of that has done right.
All right. The one-time owner of Kevin O's and now the minority leader, Mr. Leader, thanks for coming in.